And my next guest is a guy who knows a lot about a lot of things. We're going to pick his brain about the Golden Globe Awards last night. I guess you could say his expertise is showbiz. Talented guy, smart guy. We're going to get to hear what he thought about last night's extravaganza, the Golden Globe Awards and showbiz in general. Ben Mankiewicz. Ben, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Artie?
How you doing?
I'm well. I was in Vegas yesterday, so I missed the Golden Globes broadcast live. So I did what I guess a lot of people were going to start doing. I watched, near as I can tell, basically the entire show in various YouTube clips today.
Yeah, that's what people do. I mean, that's the way to do stuff now. You binged watched.
Yeah, especially if the alternative was to be in Vegas.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, listen, you're a man's man. I saw very little of it. I did. I have to, because you know what happened was after the Bronco game, I was dying to see that 60 Minutes thing, because that Bosch A-Rod thing. And then by that time, it was kind of into it. I wanted to see the Woody Allen tribute. What'd you think of the Woody Allen tribute?
I thought it was nice. You know, there was that, I don't know whether you followed it, but there was I don't know if you'd call it certainly a moment of interest on Twitter when Ronan Farrow retweeted the Vanity Fair article,
right?
You know, where Dylan speaks openly about molestation, and so you know, it made it a little bit of a downer.
It really is odd. First of all, you know, Hollywood just takes everything from Woody Allen. He's one of the most talented guys who's ever lived. I mean, as prolific as anybody could possibly be in the world of movies. And I've been a huge fan since I'm, 10, 11 years old. The first time I saw Take the Money and Run. I remember my old man sat me down. We watched Take the Money and Run together on Channel 11 in New York City.
That's funny. I remember watching Take the Money and Run with my folks, too.
I mean, it's packed with jokes. Just as a comic getting older, as a comedian, there's a joke every 3 seconds in that movie, and it's so great. And then Bananas, Sleeper, everything. So I've been a fan a long, long time, and I made the transition when he, went to the more serious stuff. And, so movies like Crimes and Misdemeanors, these are masterpieces.
Totally.
But, that's being said, he just refuses to ever go to one of these award shows, which is hilarious. And Hollywood doesn't care. They'll just take the slap in the face, and they'll give him award after award. Cecil B. DeMille, Lifetime Achievement, blah, blah, blah. And he just refuses to go. And someone will accept it for him. And that makes it a little empty, because you cut the people's faces in the crowd. They're like, well, where's the guy? He's healthy. He could be talking. Well, how come we're not seeing the guy instead of watching Diane Keaton, who's a great actress, but my God, does she ramble on? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to have the person who you're honoring there.
Right.
Like, there's a limit to how great it can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the guy's alive and well, making films still. And we're listening to Diane Keaton ramble on like a crazy person. But
and sing.
Right, and sing.
Yeah, all right.
And then the other part about it, again, being said, how much of a fan I am of Woody Allen, he probably did the single most disgusting thing. Forget about the molestation and if anything was against the law. But just ethically, morally, he did the most disgusting thing a person could do to another human being that maybe I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, you can't. Right, you can't. And I mean, look, I'm totally guilty of the hypocrisy, too. Like, because you forget. You know, and then you start talking about the movies, and you end up celebrating him. And, I don't know what we're supposed to do. The molestation charges are weird because it's clearly this family fight, and they are motivated to say things about him.
Yeah.
And they didn't really seem to pursue putting him in jail, which if you'd done that, you would think you would be very interested in making sure he never did it to anybody else.
Right.
But that said, what's the motivation for making it up? Most people who say this happened, it happened to.
Well,
so,
I think
I don't know.
I think, Ben, the motivation is the crazy anger a human being must have. You gotta when Mia Farrow found those pictures and then everything that happened, I mean, the anger that goes through you and then is transferred onto your children is probably like something no one can really relate to, and human beings want to get somebody back. And I don't think Woody Allen molested anybody, but I understand the anger.
I mean, you're right. That is a motivation. I'll buy that. And we don't know, but it is. I mean, you were in the middle of not like every family's got dysfunction, but this is a level not experienced by most dysfunctional families.
Right. I mean, you know, she adopts this poor girl from a third world country. The girl would have had a sentence of death probably, and she introduces this girl to a lifestyle of living on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, overlooking Central Park, as a multimillionaire, being brought up by an amazing artist as an actress and the greatest filmmaker possibly of all time, and she gives this girl that life. And at 17, Woody Allen, who basically was like her father, seduces her. I mean, it's like if it was in a movie, you'd go, no one ever does something that hateful. And the other thing that you can't really go into in these tributes to Woody Allen are how great the era was that he worked with Mia Farrow, because I think that was his best work.
Right, and you have to pretend like that didn't quite happen.
It never happened.
Right, it didn't happen. Those movies don't exist.
Right, because if that never happened and the scandal never happened, Mia Farrow probably would have been up there instead of Diane Keaton. The other great part about this whole thing is Ronan Farrow does look a lot like Frank Sinatra.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. It's pretty close.
Well, how great was
and the Sinatra family response, the Nancy Sinatra Jr., she's like, you know, they don't say no. They just we have always thought of Ronan as such a wonderful part of what we do, and we'd love to have him. You're like, what is happening?
It is really an amazing. It's one of the freakiest stories, scandals in show business history, worthy of a Woody Allen movie. But so you basically put it the way I do. I'm a fan. I feel like a hypocrite. I hate what he did, but I'll watch every one of his films till he stops making them. You know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right. So American Hustle stole a lot of work. How do you not give David O. Russell Best Director after that wins everything else, basically? It's so weird.
Because there was something sort of that all of the Hollywood community, writers, actors, producers, everybody reacted viscerally that I've spoken to. I mean, this is totally anecdotal, but it feels strong to me. They have a visceral reaction to Gravity.
Right.
Like they see it and they're like, okay, maybe it's not the best picture. It's not that kind of movie, but there was something like what he did was different and it broke ground. Mm-hmm. Whereas American Hustle is just a really well-directed movie in a really tough year.
Okay.
But Gravity feels special to people, so they want to honor Cuarón for it. I think that's what's going to happen at the Academy. But
it didn't win. But didn't American Hustle win Best Picture over Gravity, or did?
12 Years a Slave won Best Picture.
And American Hustle didn't win Best Comedy or something?
It won Best Comedy. You know, the Globes cheat.
Right.
But Gravity would have been up against 12 Years a Slave.
So 12 Years a Slave wins that. So it's
and
weird.
American Hustle wins the comedy one. So
right. Okay.
But Cuarón wins director.
Now, what did you think? I'll tell you, I didn't see American Hustle until recently, and Jennifer Lawrence is really funny. She's I mean, that, like, Silver Linings Playbook, and I don't watch the Hunger Games movie. I'm not into that stuff, but I've seen her in two things, Silver Linings Playbook.
Well, let me give you just a quick little thing on what happened to me with Hunger Games. You know, you and I were born in the same year. We have, I think, similar interests. And I didn't see the Hunger Games. Fortunately, I didn't have to review it. I was traveling for TCM, and I missed the first one, and I missed the second one traveling for TCM, too. So, but then it turned out I could get into a screening before we reviewed it, and I go see it without having seen the first one. And damn if I didn't watch this movie and think, that was phenomenal.
Right.
Like, I didn't expect it, and then I went back 2 days later on demand, and I watched the original, and it was great, too. So
okay.
I think you'd like them, and part of the reason why they're great is she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's really good, really good.
There's something about her, and the movies are cool. They're like, you know, they build these movies, those Hunger Games movies, as like movies for teens or young adults. But they're grown-up movies. Right. They're just about young adults.
Oh, okay.
So they're good.
Well, I
agree with you.
American Hustle, you know, God, her and Christian Bale, when she does that, some of the crazy stuff she does, and the way he reacts to how crazy she is, I was laughing out loud at almost everything she did in that movie. You know.
Did you see it at the screener or in a theater?
I saw a screener,
I saw a screener, too, and I loved it. I thought it was great, but I wish I'd seen it in a theater. I wish I'd seen it in a packed theater. I think I would have, you know, because, like, whenever you see a screener, you stop and you bet $100 on the Nuggets. You know, you screw up your night.
Listen, I do that in the theater, too.
Right. Oh, well, excuse me. Sorry, I forgot what I was talking about.
No, so, I mean, listen, American Hustle, both Amy Adams and her winning, I have no problem with, and it wouldn't. So I agree with all that stuff. The Gravity, I got to admit, for some reason, I have no interest. Like, John, do you have any interest in seeing Gravity?
No.
I don't either for some reason.
It's good.
It is?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's really good. It's not long. I mean, it's one of those rare movies. Like, it ends, and you're thinking, I could get 15 more minutes.
Right.
And that is never, rare. I'm usually so enormously relieved to get out of the theater.
Anything surprise you at the Golden Globes, or where you just completely disagree with it, or?
No, as always, like nothing really surprises me at the Golden Globes. I mean, well, that's not entirely true. No, Matthew McConaughey surprised me at the Golden Globes. I mean, no question. I don't think he thought that was coming. I mean, from a TV point of view, I don't think Amy Poehler thought that was coming, but nobody really cares about the TV part. The McConaughey's thing was a surprise because you thought that it was like this two-man race. Do they honor this great veteran, Robert Redford, who does this really unique performance in a movie that's really, he's great in it. And he says, nothing in the entire movie, a couple of words. And then, Chiwetel Ejiofor is so great, and 12 Years a Slave is they honored the movie.
He's a great actor, that guy, man.
And he's a great guy. I met him, and he's a fan of the other show I do, The Young Turks, and he was just, he's an interesting guy. He knows things about the world. He's interested in politics.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know him, but I thought his reaction was not anger, but like that thing that happens when you go 33-2 and then you lose in the second round of the NCAA tournament to Dayton. You're like, no, we're supposed to win.
Yeah.
It can't be happening.
Yeah. How do you pronounce his name again?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
He's actually great in a Woody Allen movie called Melinda and Melinda.
Yeah, he can't not be great. He's a terrific actor.
Amazing.
I still think he's still. I was looking at the odds. The odds changed because of the Golden Globes, but he's still the favorite. He's still like a 1 to 2 favorite over McConaughey, who's 2 to 1 for Best Picture in most offshore accounts. But McConaughey leaped into obviously a contender.
Matthew McConaughey's personality is one of the most annoying. If you put Matthew McConaughey's personality on me, don't you think I would have been beaten to death with a bat by now?
Oh yeah, there's no way. This show doesn't exist.
I mean, isn't it? I mean, God, he just that speech he made. What is he talking about? He's a good-looking guy, talented guy, but he's up there just mumbling and dancing like a goof, and every girl in the audience, he's so cute. I mean, you can't stand him, right?
He's set up this brand, and he's stuck with it so long that I've stopped thinking that it's an act. At least I now feel like, when he starts, like when he did, he starts it off with, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, but at least he's always selling that.
Yeah.
Did you see True Detective last night by any chance on HBO?
No.
It's fantastic.
Is it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's no way you won't like it. I love it. It's great. It's really good.
HBO keeps, everything they do is. What do you think of that show, Girls? You watch that?
I do. We do reviews of Girls. We do like roundups of Girls on the Young Turks and our show What the Flick. And, I thought it was really good. I think she's just a really talented writer. I mean, I find myself watching that show and writing down lines from it.
My girlfriend got me watching it with her, and I got to admit, I enjoy it from time to time. But listen, the sex scenes with her, she maybe has to add a little bit of clothing. It is her and that guy. Those sex scenes are disturbing, aren't they? And I'm not just talking about looks, because I actually think she has an adorable face, that chick. But like the sex scenes with the tattoos and the guy, he's got an awkward looking guy. Like, aren't you disturbed by that? Like, I can't eat while I'm watching. That's what they've got set up here. It ends up being, because at first you don't think, because he's good looking, like he looks like a star. Except you're right, he's just gangly enough that they're plausible together. And then last night he gets that line in the show where he mentions to her friend, he's like, no. She is my best friend. Hannah's my best friend, and I'm like a 17-year-old girl. I was like, like it's good. It works. I didn't see the one last night. It premiered last night.
It premiered last night. True Detective premiered. Girls premiered.
I gotta try to check, but yeah, I don't know. Listen, I think she's talented, and I don't mean anything bad. I'm the grossest person on the planet, but maybe just a couple of minutes less on those sex scenes, because I want to enjoy a cheesesteak while I'm watching it. We're going to take a break. Can you hang around for a little bit?
Yeah, sure, of course.
The great Ben Mankiewicz back after this. Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. We're talking with Ben Mankiewicz about some showbiz and the Golden Globes. Hey, Ben, what'd you think of Tina Fey and Amy Poehler?
Look, I'm a fan. So
Yeah.
I liked them. I thought they were good. I thought they were cute. I thought the little bit with Mr. Golden Globe, with Amy Poehler playing her son.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Amy's really talented. I actually have a pitch for Amy's show, a takeoff on Parks and Recreation for it's a serious show though for the BET network. Well, what do you think of this, Ben? You're a writer. Rosa Parks and Recreation. Don't you think that could be like a socially redeeming thing?
I do. I think it's really good. Yeah.
Just have a talent. Rosa Parks and a title right now. What I'm going to work on a pilot episode. With Aziz Ansari would play Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks and Recreation. I got to get in touch with Amy about that.
That's good stuff.
I love Amy and Tina too. I think they're very funny. But don't you think they're in that category? People are almost afraid to say they're bad. Like they're almost they're critic-proof.
I don't know. I hang out with so many critics, and every one of them wants to say the opposite, just to be a kind of a
right.
And so I live with people. I work with people who would be happy to criticize them and irritate me. So, yeah. But I mean, I think in the greater world, right? They're so cool. They're so trendy. They're so hip, but they're not so hip to offend anybody. But that said, that was that was some good stuff last night. I thought it was funny.
Now, the guy who directed 12 Years a Slave is Steve McQueen.
I know, and here's what people don't talk about enough. His name is Steve McQueen.
Yeah. I mean,
Everyone's like, no, what's the big deal? It's just another Steve McQueen. I'm like, he's a filmmaker, and his name is Steve McQueen.
His name's Steve McQueen. They don't bring it, and he could not. He's the direct opposite, looking-wise, of Steve McQueen.
Yeah, totally. I mean, right. You can't get less like Steve.
He's this generation Steve McQueen.
He's literally this generation Steve McQueen.
Now, Robert Redford, do you think, is it, do you feel like me, like what you say, we're the same age? Like all these people that were like really the big stars, they're finally getting old. Like Robert Redford, man, he looks old, and they do old guy things at something like the Golden Globe. Because you watch him eating dinner, like he does that thing my grandfather used to do, like he smacks his lips and, like it looks like someone's like, got to like wipe something off his mouth and, you know what I mean? Don't you think it's time for Robert Redford just to stay in the house?
I don't know, man. I would have thought, you could have thought that, but Eastwood is the guy who's sort of defied that.
Yeah, I guess, but even at the convention talking to the chair, it's almost like Clint stay in the house.
Yeah, that was a tragic moment. The guy who directed all, his lost guy named J.C. Chandor, he wanted Redford for the movie, and I heard him tell the story, and he and so he gets the script to Redford, and he's done some stuff, so Redford takes it and reads it, and Redford tells him, oh yeah, because it's about a guy. The whole movie is Redford at sea sailing, and stuff goes wrong, and he's got to try and survive, and so you got to be a sailor, and Chandor says to him, you've sailed, and Redford's like, oh yeah, and then like day one, Chandor's like, it's clear.
Right.
The guy's got no clue about it. And he goes, so you told me you'd sailed, and Redford was like, yeah, I've been on boats. All of a sudden it moved to that. But I like the idea that Redford at 76, 77 is still lying to get a role.
Of course. Yeah, I've rollerbladed, sure.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't tell me I was sailing. Ben, we got to go. Thank you so much. You're always good. Got a hard break here, but I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Artie. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Ben Mankiewicz, and we are going to take a break and wrap this up.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.